Hey guys, Steve Ray is excellent. He's fine. I just put urgent Steve Ray update because I had a Steve Ray update already, and kind of was urgently rushing home from work today to tell you guys that we had to reschedule our interview tomorrow for next Saturday. So not tomorrow, Saturday, but the following Saturday, October 23rd, I'll be talking to Steve Ray. So I want to apologize, and I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to urgently get this update out because this morning I had mentioned it and a lot of people said they were looking forward to it. So I didn't want them to say, yo, what's up? You know, I tuned in and there's nothing. So nothing's wrong, you know. I was hesitant to put urgent, but I wanted you guys to watch this so you know what to expect. But he's fine. There's nothing. He had some family obligations that were out of his control, and you know, I always tell people family first. You know, as soon as he said, you know, something to do with the family, he apologized that he needed to reschedule. And I'm like, you know, no problem. You know, we get to choose our friends, but God chooses our family. So we need to honor and cherish the family He's given us. You know, and I always say we need to get our priorities in right. You know, get our priorities right. We'll keep our life in balance. It's got to be God, family, job. And a lot of Christians confuse their ministry with God. And even Billy Graham had to admit that he put so much time in his ministry, he neglected his son Franklin. And Franklin, if you know the story, was a rebel for many years until he came home by the grace of God. And a lot of pastors do that. A lot of Christians do that. They confuse the ministry with God, and so they justify putting their ministry above their family. I don't know Steve Ray personally. I'm really looking forward to meeting him next Saturday. But from what I see of him, he seems to have his priorities in right. I mean, him and his wife run the tours together, is my understanding. They do a lot of tours to Catholic pilgrimages. And something came up with his family, and he put his family first, rightly so. Sometimes, like I said, we feel to put a ministry above our families, right? Because we're told to put God. But our ministry is our job. God, family, job. It's got to be in that order. And your ministry may be full-time telling people about the Lord, or your ministry may be your job, you know. I drive a truck. I deliver products. But I do it for the glory of God. And when I get a chance, if, you know, I got to wait in my truck, I'll make a video. But even if I didn't make videos, even if you don't make videos, your job is your ministry. We're called to minister where we go. And, you know, like one of the great saints said, you know, preach the gospel all the time. And if need be, talk. You know, we live our lives as examples, you know. We love our neighbor as ourselves. We're there when people need us. That's our ministry. So remember, just let's see if I had any other updates I wanted to give you. I thought there was another update, but it escapes me. So just remember, you know, family first. But please, if we have a supply chain crisis like we have now and the shelves are empty and you're ahead of transportation, you're in charge of our supply chain, please don't take a 2-month maternity leave or paternity leave. If you don't know what I'm talking about, our transportation secretary, the guy head of transportation and the supply chain, Pete Buttigieg, took 2 months off. He just came back, I think, this week because him and his husband adopted a child. So he took 2 months maternity leave. You know, I'm old school. I never heard of a guy getting leave because he had a baby. You know, my whole life I had 5 kids. I had to save up vacation because I knew my wife was due in a few months or whatever, and take a week's vacation. And I'm not even that important, but I never had a boss that would let me take more than 2 weeks. Like, dude, we need you back. You know, I run a route. We can't have someone covering your route for 2 weeks. We'll just lose too much money. We need you on your route because you have the relationship with your customers. So imagine, imagine a guy in charge of the whole transportation. It's like $100 billion budget he's in charge of for the whole country, taking 2 months off in the middle of a crisis that has to do with his job description. It just blows my mind, but it doesn't surprise me because Joe Biden is just a bureaucratic old politician, and this is what these guys do. You know, he appoints Buttigieg, this soy boy, and I don't mean it in a derogatory way, like because he's homosexual. You know, Donald Trump appointed Rick Grinnell, the first openly gay man to any cabinet, which was historical. Of course, you probably don't know about it because it didn't fit the media narrative of who Trump was. And Trump didn't brag about it because he didn't put him there because he was gay. He put Rick Grinnell in charge of intelligence because Rick Grinnell was the best man for the job. I wouldn't call Rick Grinnell a soy boy just because he's gay. I would say that guy's a warrior and a patriot. And when the Republicans take back the White House in 24, I hope he's in there helping out. I say Buttigieg is a soy boy. He's one of these college frat boys or whatever you want to call it, just a soft, you know, taking 2 months off because you adopt a baby. I mean, praise the Lord, you know, for babies, and us men got to care for our babies. But we're called to work, especially when you're in charge of something as important as transportation and we're having a crisis. This just blows my mind when I found this guy took 2 months maternity leave. I mean, this is just, you know, it's par for the course. You know, he put the guy in that job, not because he's the best guy for the job. He put him in there. It was all political, you know. The establishment said, we want Joe Biden in so we can control him. Come out and endorse him, and we'll get you a position in the cabinet. Kamala Harris, who called Joe Biden a racist, said, you need to come out and say, well, it was, you know, I really didn't mean it. And we'll, you know, put you as vice president and put you in charge of the border. And you see how good she's doing there. So, you know, this is just par for the course. Where we had 4 years of Trump where he put the best man. He didn't put these college. I mean, you know, this is like Obama put these college professors that never accomplished anything in life. They spent their whole life in universities, theorizing, earning degrees. They never really did anything. Trump comes in and he puts guys in charge that get things done, that actually were in the real world. And you see the difference. You see the difference. But Biden took it a step further than Obama. He took these college professors that are involved in government and are just love bureaucracy, and you see, it's just a mess. I mean, just compare Pete Buttigieg in charge of transportation and some of the guys that weren't even in Trump's cabinet, but that he had as personal advisors that he could call and get some advice because he trusted them. I'll give you one example. Fred Smith. When Fred Smith was in college, he was in business school, and he wrote a paper, and the teacher asked him to come up with a business model. So he came up with this business model about a company that could deliver packages the next day. His professor gave him a D because he said that's impractical. Well, Fred Smith graduated from college and started FedEx. The professor is probably still at college, giving people bad grades that are going to be successful. And Fred Smith was the CEO of FedEx. He invented FedEx, and he's probably worth $5 billion by now. These are guys that get things done. And so, sorry I got off track, but I just read today that Buttigieg took 2 months off, and it just blew my mind. Maybe I'm old school, I don't know. I mean, when my dad had me, he was working, got off of work, went to the bar, the hospital called the bar, said you had a boy. He bought all the guys cigars and drinks, and then he came and seen the baby. So, I mean, I didn't do that. I was actually with my, you know, I evolved. I was actually with my wife with each baby, praying with her, holding her hand. But I didn't take 2 months off of work. These people live in a different planet. I don't know anybody that could afford to take 2 months off of work who gets, I mean, if you work for a job and they do that, praise the Lord. Maybe I'm just out of touch. I mean, I didn't take a day off. You know, I broke my hand and didn't take a day off. I tore my ACL and didn't take a day off. This is how most blue collars do it. And we got people in Washington right now that are totally out of touch. So, like I said, You tuned in to see Steve Ray. I apologize I go off track, but this is what I do. You know, I can't change who I am. But this weekend is going to be loaded up with apologetics. I have apologetic videos planned all weekend. Next weekend, we're going to have Steve Ray, and you will be equipped. Keep watching this channel, and I promise you, you will be equipped to defend the Catholic faith. And St. Peter said, always be ready to give a defense of the faith that lies within you. God bless, stay Catholic, and if you're buying or selling real estate, go to realestateforlife.org.